Yo, what is good, beautiful people? It's your boy Tony, and I am back for another video. And as you can tell, the color is stripped. We are going full on black and white for this vlog slash photo walk. As you can see, I have loaded up the Ilford HP5 onto the Nikon F3, and we are shooting at box speed, so ISO 400, and following the Sunny 16 rule for today. It's a bit cloudy, still a little bit of sun, some blue sky out there, but we're gonna go Sunny 16. So I'll likely stay between F8 and 5.6 for today. Yeah, so the thing is with me, I don't normally shoot black and white. But because today was a bit on the gray side with the overcast and the rain, I thought it would be a good idea to come out, load up some black and white, and essentially try something different. The way that I see the world in black and white is completely different how I shoot in color. You know, void color, there is a different way to look at the world because you're not looking at color as a crutch. So now I'm looking at lighting, contrast, you know, things that I should be looking at when I'm shooting in color, but without the distraction. So today we're looking at contrast with the lighting and color and texture, different aesthetics. I think black and white definitely leans towards a kind of like documentary, archiving type of feel. So we're looking at texture and just overall environments and how black and white imagery kind of accentuates and really pushes that look even more so than I feel even more so than what I feel color would. So that's what we're gonna do today. We're gonna start in Ybor City, which I think is, you know, stomping ground for some black and white imagery. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna walk around, look at some compositions, mostly still life stuff, and just have a good time with the black and white. And yeah, let's do it. By the way, I am vlogging today with the XTRA MUSE. Shout out to XTRA Tech for sending over this phenomenal pocket camera that competes with you know who. I'm very excited to test this thing out and enjoy what it can offer. Having a gimbal on a camera this small is crazy because I'm walking and I feel like this video is super smooth. You know, mind you, I don't know what it looks like until I put it in, you know, post-processing, but so far it looks good. What do you think about this camera, man? Looks pretty cool. I'm like, I have the Nano also, but for today, I really wanted to shoot with this one just so I can get familiar with it because I'm taking a trip to Boston and I want to give a thorough review. So this is like my first impressions on this camera. So far, so good. What do you guys think so far? I think the colors, right now I'm shooting in D-Log M, so I get a nice flat profile. Obviously, it's black and white, so I don't even know why I asked you guys how does the color look? I'm shooting black and white. So anyways, that's what we're on today, man. I like Ybor City. Ybor is pretty cool. It's a vibe. You know, some days are busier than others. I hear that at night. It's freaking crazy out here. You know, I don't come out here at night, so I couldn't tell you any different. But like I said before in the other videos, like Tampa is one of those cities where it's very event driven. You don't really see people out unless like this some type of crazy event happening of some sort. So, you know, I don't expect to see a lot of people out here on a Sunday. Maybe like Friday or Saturdays, but nah. Not this early on a Sunday. They're probably still recovering from last night. But yeah, I think it's safe to say that when it comes to film photography, in general, I think one of the things that we look for the most are signs. You know, neon signs, store signs, things like that. Just things that kind of lend itself to like the whole film look, because you go to a place like Ybor City where it's kind of old, very well preserved, you're definitely gonna see some old signs up and things like that, because just the nature of it. So it looks really good on film, I think. So for the folks who shoot black and white most of the time, what do you normally look for? Like, what interests you? What catches your eye? What are your triggers? Mine is definitely architecture and overall texture, lighting, you know, the contrast between light and shadows, those type of things that I look for. If I'm shooting street photography, you know, capturing people and the overall environment, you know, when you strip away the color, I mean, all you have is the action of a person, you know, the emotion that they're conveying, and capturing that in the best light possible, you know, tells a story a little bit different than what color would. So drop in comments, what do you look for? I'll tell you what though, regardless if I'm shooting color or black and white, if I see a car, it's happening. It's gonna happen. There is no way around it. I see a beautiful Mustang. Unfortunately, there's a freaking Prius that's about to park right behind it, but nonetheless, I'll make do with some space because this is looking good. So let's chat about this XTRA MUSE real quick, because I'm using it right now. And I gotta say the face tracking is pretty solid. I feel like it's spot on, you know? I'm literally walking parallel to it and I feel like it's tracking me. I'm not even worried if it's tracking me or not because it's doing its job. So, they really knocked it out of the park with this one. I'm loving the face track. I updated the firmware, so my wireless mic is synced up. And it was almost simultaneously, like, once I started the pairing mode, it picked it up really fast and right away. And then you can see the volumes. There's a little bar at the top. So it shows you if you're peaking or not. You also have extra audio settings that you can tweak around, you know, to your settings, to your liking. The 32-bit float on the mic is solid, you know, saves me if I ever clip, which is almost close to none because the audio is pretty precise, so no big deal here. Really enjoying it so far. Solid product. All right. We're gonna venture more into the, I guess, residential parts of historic Ybor. There's some houses that's like right on the train tracks, which I think looks pretty cool. And then also just You see the Tampa style homes, you know, the vintage style homes. So I think that's pretty cool to capture. And like I said, when you shoot in black and white, it feels very documentary. It feels very like you're archiving, preserving historics, preserving historical, you know, areas and things like that. So it gives it that overall feel and that look that I've mentioned before that I really appreciate. So we're gonna look for compositions to that regard, try to use light as a way to make the images look a little more interesting. Right now, we're almost looking at midday sun, essentially, and it's pretty bright already. This humidity here is ridiculous, but we're out here doing the good work, or something like that. Also, I feel like with black and white, if the colors aren't really hitting the way that you want them to, like they're not punchy, or you know, like the colors just don't do anything for the photo. In black and white, I wouldn't necessarily say that it saves the photo, but the black and white makes it look more interesting. So take that for what you will. You know, some people say it's a crutch to shoot in black and white or to convert a photo into black and white. But I think if you're already shooting in black and white, you already have to change your mindset and perspective as to how your image is going to look anyway. So you're looking at a composition and you're like, yeah, this will work, because your mindset's already there. So, you know, really a matter of perspective. So more on this XTRA MUSE while we're walking around looking for compositions. I feel like it has all the settings that I need for a dedicated vlogging camera. Like I said before, the gimbal is phenomenal. The face tracking equally as great. The 10-bit log for, you know, flexibility and color grading, if you're into that thing. Provides a lot of flexibility, I feel. The audio, like I mentioned before, fast syncing. The app, very responsive. You can literally control the entire camera straight from your app. So I think that's really cool. There's obviously some things that you will need for it to operate at its optimum. One of those things being like an ND filter. Definitely a must-have for these cameras, especially if you're shooting video. Obviously, you want to be able to control your exposure. The 4K looks pretty solid from what I've seen so far. You can shoot 24 frames per second, 30 frames, 50, 60, you know. You can get slow motion out of this thing. Pretty solid, man, very capable. Is it gonna replace, you know, like your high-end camera? No, probably not. But the ease of use is the selling point for me, because I wasn't really that into vlogging, namely because I had to carry around, you know, a larger camera and a lens and a tripod, and it just became tedious. Like, it became work. You know, with this camera, it doesn't feel like work. It feels more like I'm just hanging out and I'm taking you all along with me. Like, we're just hanging and seeing what the day provides us, really. So this definitely makes vlogging significantly easier, which I appreciate, because that's what this channel initially was when I was stationed in Japan. It was traveling, seeing new things, and just documenting my time. You know, not a whole lot of friction. I was using a GoPro at the time. Whatever it was at the time, was it a 9 maybe? So getting back to what this channel was initially intended for. And this right here is giving me just that, which I truly appreciate, because I can walk around with this thing and it doesn't feel cumbersome. I don't have this weight that I have to carry around every time I want to stop and shoot video. I have to set it up. Now I can just pull this thing out and just shoot. It's freaking amazing. I appreciate it. It makes it so much more fun. It feels easier to do. You know, you get this little camera, people look at you, yeah, for sure, but they're not like looking at you all crazy when you have like a big camera. They're like, oh my God, what is he doing? What kind of production he has going on? Nah, man, it's just a dude with a little camera that could fit in my pocket, just recording. And no one thinks twice about it. I don't think twice about it. I just turn it on, hit record, and talk shit. Really, I'm just rambling, sharing my thoughts with you guys and gals. I don't know who's watching. By the way, thanks to everybody who gets on here, likes the videos, views it, what have you. I appreciate you all. Now let's go do what I came out here for. Shoot some black and white. So let's talk about this battery life, because I've been shooting for about 2 hours or so, pushing on 3, I believe, and we're at about 50%. And I've been shooting pretty consistently throughout this time. And I gotta say, I think for as small as this camera is, it's pretty decent battery life. You know, I could turn it off, turn it back on, but I think overall, for what you're getting, solid, man. Pretty good, dependable. And I mean, you can charge it on the way. I mean, there's other accessories out there for this camera that you can purchase to extend the battery life. So I think overall, pretty fire. We're walking around Ybor. I think we're getting about all the shots that I came to get based off my time walking around before and studying the location. So pretty solid. We're gonna grab some coffee now, so let's stop and do that. Whew, that was a good latte. If you're ever in Ybor, make sure you check out Blind Tiger. Fire. Super good. Yo. So that's it. Roll's done. My time in Ybor has come to an end. Overall, I enjoyed walking around and looking at this area in a different way, shooting in black and white. There were some locations that I've shot before in color that I think definitely did it justice shooting in black and white. What do you all think? It was a different way of looking at the world around me, essentially, and looking at compositions differently. How do they interact with the light and shadows, that type of contrast. Really enjoyed it. Thought it was fun. Really enjoyed vlogging with the XTRA MUSE. Definitely a serious contender for the competition that's out there. And for the price, you really can't beat it, man. Overall bang for buck, quality, the active tracking, like I said, phenomenal. Really enjoy vlogging with this camera. Definitely gets out of my way, you know, as opposed to like a mirrorless camera or something like that. So definitely something that I will be using for my vlogs moving forward, along with the Nano, because the Nano gives me a different perspective. I can mount it on my body. I can, you know, get a different POV. This, I really like the active tracking, especially when I need to get some BTS or get frames of me walking around, you know, making compositions and taking photos. Really helps. Overall, the quality is fantastic. I think it's just another tool in my bag, you know, to maximize the production in my videos. So definitely something that I will be using moving forward a whole lot more. So with that being said, I will catch you all on the next one. Hope you enjoyed this video. Stay blessed. Peace.